Hello, this is Adrian. So, I'm out here on the basketball court, just playing around, working on some skills. I've been working every 2 or 3 days on basketball skills for maybe a month or so now. It's kind of a new thing because I've always played around. I played basketball just kind of playing around, most of my life, playing games and stuff, but I've never actually played or gone out to play with the express purpose of developing and expanding myself. One of the reasons being is I've never really had any instruction or sort of knowing where to start or what to work on. And while I was on the Destiny farm, someone there pointed out to me that we were talking about the internet, and he's insisted that we could agree that one of the main uses of the internet is to expand oneself, and that kind of stuck with me. So what I decided to do was look up some basketball skills drills, and I went out to the court and I started practicing these drills that are meant to develop one's skills. And it was kind of challenging and awkward at first, but I've just been keeping at it, just kind of coming out to the court and using it as a kind of assistance and support to really just turn off my mind, work through the thoughts and the doubts and all the back chat that comes up while I'm working on these skills, and just keep my nose to the grindstone, so to speak. And here I am after, like I say, about a month of doing this, and I'm noticing, without thinking about it or trying too hard mentally, meaning I'm not going through any kind of struggle, mental experience within myself, I'm noticing that I've gotten a lot better at a lot of these skills that I've been working on, to the point where it's like a surprise. I'm doing all these cool things that I've always kind of wanted to do. Like I say, I've always liked the game. I've always found it to be very fun. But like most things, it tends to be a lot more fun when you're good at it. And all the more surprising about how I've performed so far today is I got maybe 3.5 hours of sleep last night, and that's one of the points of back chat that I noticed when I was sort of earlier on, when I was looking at the point of will I go out to play tonight? Will I go out and practice or not? That was one of the points that was kind of coming up in the back of my mind, is you'll be too tired, and you know what happens when you're tired. You won't perform well, you'll underperform. But the opposite of that has turned out to be the case, and what's interesting about it is I'm succeeding despite myself. And I kind of looked at that word as I noticed that point, and it kind of sounds like I'm succeeding to spite myself. But then or maybe that's how I've always looked at that word anyway, using that word despite myself. It's kind of a common saying. But I looked at the word again, and I realized that I was succeeding despite myself, as in to despite yourself. When you that prefix D is to lessen something, to undo something. So what I realized within this process is it's I'm, through sticking with the consistent application of working on these skills, what I'm simultaneously doing in that process is I'm letting go of all these old habits where I keep myself stuck in a point of stagnation, where I'm just kind of busy, just kind of killing time, wasting my life entertaining myself and not really developing myself in any way. Because that's really a point of self-spite. it's like in a very passive kind of way that creeps up on you over time, as I find as I developed into adulthood. Yeah, you just develop this almost passive form of self-spite where it's just like, fuck myself. I'm not gonna do anything with myself. I'm not gonna develop myself. I'm not gonna, from a certain perspective, believe myself or give myself any credit, give myself a chance. And I realize basketball is just a kind of a silly, fun game. You're just bouncing around a ball and putting it in a net. But this is very analogous to my process. It's just another extent of my process. It's one of many points that I've sort of been working on to be, like I say, to work within a point of consistency on, this being one of the easier, sort of more leisurely, fun things to do. Although it's, it is physically challenging and demanding work sometimes, but it's fun from the perspective that, it's just a game. It's nothing really amounts to it at the end of the day, save for maybe a few life lessons that are transferable into other things that I do and work on in life. So there are other points in my process that this is applicable to. Another one that's been coming through is working with myself within my relationships. And what's relatable in these 2 points that I'm working on is the point of quieting yourself, quieting the mind, quieting the back chat that comes up, especially in the more initial onset of taking these things on. You realize how much back chat and thoughts you're having that's keeping you limited from being effective and participating in these things. But that was another point I noticed today within an interaction I was having with my partner in my relationship, is how through pushing myself to just be diligent and apply myself consistently, I've been slowly but surely becoming more aware of these thoughts in the back chat that's been limiting me. And through that consistent practice, gaining more directive principle in my life to stop the back chat as it comes up and redirect myself in a way that is practical and effective, and not fueled by emotions and fears. So I suppose that's the point. That's all I have to say for now. See you next time.